Hello to all our televiewers and subscribers. I am Darwin Manalastas, teacher presenter from Cesar E. Vergara Memorial High School. I am here to share to you one of the topics in English 8 for the second quarter, explaining the visual and verbal relationship illustrated in tables, graphs, information maps found in expository text. For this episode, we'll be focusing on linear and nonlinear text. After the lesson, you are expected to identify text types and determine their functions and relationship. Before we start our discussion, let me ask you some questions. Are you fond of reading? How often do you read? I know most of you do not have interest in reading, but you cannot take reading out of your lives. You need to admit that almost every day, you are exposed to different texts. Texts that whether you like it or not, they will surely test your reading skills. Most of the time, when you read, you will encounter graphics and verbal elements on the text, just like in these examples. The data presented are not only presented by words or by sentences, they are also visual or graphical representation of the text. I know some of you do not have difficulties in understanding such texts. Thus, this lesson will surely help you to strengthen your skills related in this matter. So, for you to understand the visual and verbal elements in text, let us explore the world of linear and nonlinear text. First, let us have the linear texts. Linear texts are traditional texts. They are common texts that we encounter in reading newspapers, textbooks, stories, and more. These types of texts are being read from the beginning to the end. It has an order or sequence. And since they are made out of words and sentences, they follow proper grammar and syntactic arrangement. These are the common linear texts. We have educational text, news articles, essays, communication letters, poems, novels, memoranda, and short stories. On the other hand, we have the nonlinear text. Nonlinear texts are opposite of linear text. They are being read through different reading paths. They are non-sequential, not just like the linear text. In reading nonlinear text, readers will decide the sequence of reading depending on the information they need to focus. Here are the types of nonlinear text. We have tables. In tables, the data is presented in tabular form. The information is being displayed across rows and columns. In using tables, the information is more organized and it is easier for the reader to scan and analyze the data being presented. Next is the graph. A graph can be defined as a pictorial representation or a diagram that represents data or values in an organized manner. The points on the graphs often represent the relationship between two or more things. Graphs do have types. The first one is the bar graph. The bar graphs are used to show numbers that are independent of each other. Pie graphs, on the other hand, show how whole is divided into different parts. The next type of graph is the line graph. It is being represented by lines that shows how numbers have changed over time. Now, let us have the last type of nonlinear text, which is the information maps. Information maps are visual representations of information. They have diagrams that show suggested relationship between concepts. Those are the different types of linear and nonlinear text. At this moment, we'll be checking your understanding on the topic that we have discussed. I want you to identify the terms being described by the following sentences. Are you ready? Number 1. This type of text makes sense according to grammatical and syntactic arrangement of words. What's the answer? The answer is very good. That is linear text. Number 2, this type of text is non-sequential and it has many reading paths. What is your answer? Alright, very good. That is non-linear text. Number 3, it is a type of graph that shows numbers that are independent of each other. The answer is right, that is bar graph. Number 4, it shows how a whole is divided into different parts. What's the answer? Alright, so that is pie graph or pie chart. For the last item, it shows how numbers have changed over time. And the answer is line graph. Very good. How many correct answers did you get? I hope that you did well. I hope you clearly understand the topic that we have discussed. And that's the end of the episode. See you again next time, and we'll continue our discussion on explaining visual-verbal relationship illustrated in tables, graphs, and information maps found in expository text. Again, this is Darwin Manalastas, your teacher presenter. Thank you very much for watching.